Um, Clemson's road. They could possibly get back up in there, maybe.
No.
There's no way.
Let's go to this rankings real quick. College football rankings.
I see a one-loss Michigan team getting or Ohio State team getting it before Clemson
Yeah, I
because they got
mean
to play
both
each other.
Yeah,
Michigan.
so
Yeah, I was gonna say that's that's
Or
like
so
what
you got
happened with.
Tennessee.
so there's a chance. I mean, you got
Nah,
Clemson at number 10.
there's no way.
They're
Nope.
at number 10 right now. So obviously Ohio State and Michigan plays each other.
There's one of them would get in over Clemson still, even
So
with
one
Yeah,
of
Ohio
but
them
State.
going
look
so one
what
of them going
Tennessee fell to after playing Georgia. So Ohio State, and Michigan, I can't see either one of them falling no further than 6, and that might even be a lot if they fall that far.
They still got enough teams on the schedule to lose two, right?
I mean, not who Michigan or Ohio State.
TCU, all of them. TCU, Michigan,
I
and
mean,
Ohio
TCU
State.
plays Texas, but I mean, even with that, a one-loss TCU team, I think, or a one-loss Michigan or Ohio State team is better than Clemson. But every team above Clemson right now is better than them, even
Yeah, again,
LSU.
the Notre Dame loss is just too much of an asterisk right now.
Peanut said Alabama get a tune up over 100,000. What? Yes. So Clemson at 10. Clemson at 10. Let's see. No, go back. I'm gonna do it this way. I ain't got time to flip back and forward.
Clemson get a New Year's Six bowl.
So
That's what they probably going to
you got Ohio State and Michigan. They're gonna stand in each other's way. TCU, all they got to do is just win out, and they'll be in. Then you got Oregon and USC. They're obviously gonna stand in each other's way. One of them will possibly get in, but both of them already got a loss.
I mean, both of them are going to get destroyed by any team in front of them.
So I mean, Georgia's already showed Oregon who daddy is. LSU right now they're creeping up. All they got to do is just. I think LSU with a 2 loss could still get in the playoffs.
They got to
No,
play the SEC championship game.
If they
against
win
Georgia.
out and win that SEC championship game against Georgia,
Oh,
they
they could
will
get in.
be
They
in
could
the
get in.
playoffs.
Yeah,
They
but
will be in there.
they're not being Georgia. I highly doubt they're going to be Georgia.
Yeah, so it's a question mark for LSU. They control their own destiny. All they got to do win out and beat Georgia. They will be in the playoffs. They will not keep them out of there.
if you got two undefeateds and you still got a couple of one-loss teams, Tennessee and Ohio, they're not.
Well, you won't have two.
LSU isn't jeeping. LSU isn't jumping either one of them.
If
Yeah,
LSU
but if
beats Georgia,
LSU,
they're
all
jumping
LSU has to
Tennessee.
do once they win out and they beat Georgia in the NCC championship, the number one team in the country, and they're ranked
100%.
7, they'll go up in the rankings even more by winning out. They will be in the playoffs. They're not going to keep the SEC championship team out of there.
Yeah, there's no
2
way.
losses or not.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say no because anything could happen. But
Let's do the scenario. LSU wins out, Georgia wins out. They're both in the SEC championship. LSU wins that championship.
Yeah.
LSU would move to possibly number
No, LSU would be
2 or
number 4
3.
probably. I'd say number
2
4.
or 3. I would give them 2 or 3.
you're going to jump Tennessee, you're going to jump TCU, and you're going to jump the winner of. I mean, that's I don't know,
I'm
man.
gonna take Ohio State to be number 1. If LSU beat Georgia, I think LSU will be number 2. TCU will probably be in there, and then probably out of Oregon and USC.
But to me, the thing is the Ohio State Michigan thing. You got 2 versus 3 playing 2. Number 3 playing number 2, number 2 playing number 3. You're going to penalize one of those teams if they lose over a 2-loss team.
They're gonna take LSU. You can't leave the SEC
I'd say
champion.
I'll tell you right now, the way LSU makes it is they're easily going to jump Oregon and Tennessee. That's not even a question if they beat Georgia. My question would be is if TCU loses out, if they lose a game, and then also depending on where they rank Georgia, because Georgia depends how the loss is. Georgia could still be in the top 4. It'd probably be number 4.
Yeah, if Georgia
Same thing with
loses
Ohio
that
State,
SEC
Michigan.
championship, and it's not, the Georgians will probably drop to number 4. Georgia's still gonna be in there.
And same thing with Michigan and Ohio State when they play each other. If it's a close game, I can see both of them still staying in the playoffs.
So you'll have. I'm guessing Ohio State gonna take out Michigan. So you'll have Ohio State possibly ending up number 1. LSU probably 2 or 3 for after beating Georgia and winning out. and you'll have Georgia at 4. It just depends on who's going to be at 3. Is it TCU? Is it Oregon? Is it USC?
There's just
Or
no.
is it even Clemson?
Clemson's out. They're 100% out. They would need major, like all those teams ahead of them to lose at least one game.
Yeah,
minimum.
but think
You
about
can
it.
even see Tennessee getting in there.
Nah, Tennessee could if it depends if TCU loses to Texas and then Michigan, Ohio State, I could see Tennessee getting in there too.
I'm just saying, if LSU win that SEC championship
It's gonna
with only
shake
2
up
losses, they getting in that championship.
You've had 2 losses to make before.
I don't think so.
I absolutely think so, because
Yeah.
if you look at it now, Georgia wins out, lose the SEC championship. They'll probably drop from 1 to 4. Because if LSU wins out and make it to the SEC championship, they're not going to be 7 when they play Georgia. They're going to be probably maybe 5th in the country.
Yeah, and also depends if TCU loses a game or not. If TCU loses one game, they're out completely. Like they're completely out.
TCU in order for TCU to be in here, they got to win every freaking game, every one.
So if TCU wins out, Ohio. Okay. So if TCU wins out,
TCU wins out.
So Ohio State still plays Michigan. So when Ohio State plays Michigan, whichever one of those lose, LSU is going to move ahead of them.
It depends.
Before the SEC championship game?
No, after the SEC championship game.
I think it depends, though, also, how the loss is. Like, if Ohio State or Michigan, like, kill each other, like, depending on what the score is, then, I mean, if Michigan goes out and gets straight out, like, 35-0 or something, I mean, Michigan's going to be out. That's how that's going to work.
Yeah,
all right.
But if LSU beats Georgia, there's no way you can tell me they're not better than Oregon and Tennessee. I mean, Oregon is not going to – even Oregon being USC, I don't think they deserve to be in the top 4. They haven't played anyone.
Now, if you look at Clemson's the rest of their
that
schedule,
loss just kills it, man. That 30.
LSU, not LSU. Louisville, they'll beat Louisville.
I don't know. They could lose.
They'll beat Miami.
I think they can lose.
They'll beat South Carolina. So they can win all 3 of these games. Now, if these games are nail biters, then yeah, go ahead and count Clemson out.
Clemson's out already.
That loss was just horrifying. The 14 points were scored late, and it doesn't even matter. It should have been 35-0. Like they got.
Yeah, but if you look at Clemson has 1 loss. You got Oregon with 1 loss.
They didn't play nobody though. They didn't play nobody. Clemson has not played anyone.
If you look at Clemson got 1 loss. They lost to Notre Dame 35-14. You got Oregon up here with 1 loss, 49-3 against Georgia.
Yeah, but that's also the number 1 team.
Yeah,
but either way, I still don't think Oregon's that good.
So when you win Clemson, if you look at Clemson wins, they beat Syracuse, who was ranked, I think 10th at the time,
and now they're at 3 straight losses.
Maybe it was 14. Who knows? They beat NC State, who was 10th in the country, and they beat Wake Forest too. That was ranked. That's 3 ranked opponents.
Those teams are all not good anymore.
Now, if you look
it was at the time, but it's not. It matters at the time of it. Oh, I know. I think Oregon hasn't played no one. I've said that.
Exactly. So if Oregon has a chance to get up in there, Clemson. But
I don't think Oregon has a chance. Is what I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying I'd take LSU over Oregon and Clemson any day.
Because if you look at Oregon's win, their best win is against UCLA.
UCLA hasn't played anyone either.
And BYU, and BYU hasn't looked too hot either.
They haven't played.
BYU.
But if you look at Oregon, though, look at Oregon's next couple of games. They got Washington, they got Utah. Those are 2 ranked opponents.
Yeah, I see that. We'll see what they do against Utah, but I mean.
So as of right now, they do have a stronger chance of getting in over Clemson, but they have to win those games. Clemson's path is a lot easier as well. Yeah, let's take a look at USC.
Clemson's path is easier, but that means that even gives them more of a reason not to get in.
Clemson doesn't have a path anymore. They're done.
Even beating North Carolina is not going to get them in the top 4. Unless TCU loses like 1 or 2 games and Michigan loses 1 or 2 games, there's absolutely no way. Like they need a lot to lose. There's no way. USC play.
USC.
They play Notre
got
Dame.
Notre Dame. They got UCLA. Those are 2 ranked opponents also.
Yeah, but UCLA is not good. Look at their schedule. Let's see who they played. I don't know how they're number 12. I mean,
but you know they're gonna look at it. Okay, you
I
beat a
know.
number 12 team, then you beat a number 20th, and these numbers might actually change.
Not necessarily though, because if you look, LSU wasn't even. I don't even think they were ranked. Were they ranked when they beat Bama, and then they went all the way to number 7?
Yeah, but if you look at the rest of USC schedule,
I mean, look at that.
They haven't really played nobody other than Utah, and when they did play Utah, they lost. So Clemson does have a shot. They do have a shot. Slim, but they still have a shot.
I don't think so.
I'm just saying, if LSU wins out, that's my biggest thing. If LSU wins out and win the SEC championship, they're in.
Oh, no. I can see.
They'll probably be the first team with 2 losses in there.
Oh, I think they've had a team with 2 losses before.
Have they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have.
Hey, TC, I ain't gonna lie. I give it a Tennessee getting in there before.
Nah, there's no way. Because how do you have Tennessee in there if LSU beat Bama and Georgia? They go off the eye test. You gotta remember, they go off the eye test.
Because they lost to Florida State.
Yeah, but in the first game of the week that was horrible.
But it still counts as one of their 2 losses.
But they don't care though. You got to remember, this is the eye test now. It's not BCS ranking.
Hey.
But what you got to look at, Berg, is you got an LSU with 2 losses that's ranked ahead of all these other teams with 1 loss.
I'm not saying that they can't get in. I'm just saying I just don't see it with 2 losses. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's cool, but I don't see it. But
y'all forgot Tennessee beat them.
The 2 losses, they're not keeping an SEC championship team out of there.
Exactly. There's no way.
And if Georgia only has 1 loss, they're getting in too. So we're just going to have LSU and Georgia in there.
Let's see if they beat Georgia. We'll have this conversation then. And keep in mind, Sarge is probably going to chime in on it too. And you know he's going to run his mouth all kinds of mighty about it. So.
Yeah, but I'm definitely, if LSU wins out, why did I click on them like that? I want to take it. Go back. I can take Clemson off.
Plus, Florida State's ranked now too, so I mean that helps them even more.
I don't know how the hell they're ranked, but whatever. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's just not a lot of good teams this year, though. That's why.
Hey, look, even though LSU beat Alabama, but y'all forgot Tennessee did it before them.
Now, if you look at LSU's path for the rest of these couple games, they got Arkansas. They can win that.
They're gonna win out.
UAB, they'll win that, and Texas A&M, they'll win that.
Yeah. It's about beating Georgia. Can they beat Georgia or not? It's gonna be tough. I don't know if they could.
So
but
they're a good team. Win these next 3 games and beat Georgia, they're in the playoffs with their 2 losses.
We'll see.
That's a big if though. Beating Georgia's not easy. I mean, Georgia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they beat Georgia, that's a.
Are you picking them to beat Georgia?
Go to
Michigan. I'm not picking them to beat Georgia.
You're not? Okay.
No, I'm not picking anybody to beat Georgia.
I don't know. Georgia could lose.
Sergeant already told me 15-0, and I believe him.
I cannot pick against an undefeated defending national champion. I just can't do it.
So what you see here is basically
they have played no one.
Nebraska next for Michigan. They'll beat them. They'll beat Illinois, and then Ohio State. I don't know how that game is going to go. But Ohio State and Michigan, they're basically, that game is going to decide who goes to the Big Ten championship.
I don't even know. Honestly, now I don't know if whatever team loses. I don't know if a 1-loss Michigan or Ohio State team will make the playoffs for that schedule. I mean, that is pathetic.
They're not going to make it over LSU if LSU wins out and beat
even
Georgia.
Tennessee. I don't think they can make it over Tennessee. I mean, this schedule is like literally. I mean, I don't see one team on there that even looks nearly impressive. I mean, their best win will be against Illinois or Ohio State. I mean,
I know. I saw what he wrote too. I started laughing.
I mean,
I thought that was funny.
Bergie, you took offense to what you said.
I saw it. I was waiting for you to put it up there, but I saw it too.
Oh man!
I was about to say, "Hey, look, Rosie said something funny."
All right, let's see what's. So LSU's path is they control their own destiny. Let's see who Ohio State who they play for the next couple of games.
I want to see TCU as well after this.
Ohio State. So the next couple of games for Ohio State, Indiana they'll win, Maryland they'll win, and then them in they'll have a showdown with Michigan.
Who'd they play in the beginning?
Indiana.
No,
at the beginning. Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame.
What the?
Notre Dame and Penn State are the only two ranked opponents they played all year.
And we've seen Penn State.
Yeah. But if Ohio State wins, they're in regardless.
Oh, yeah. But both those teams, one of those teams got to win out. I don't think a one loss of those teams are making it because that schedules is not good.
So you'll have basically Ohio State versus Michigan as a deciding factor. So you'll end up having one of those two teams in the playoffs, whether it's Michigan or whether it's Ohio State. More than likely, it'll be Ohio State.
Yeah,
it's only going to be one though. Yeah, so then Tennessee could make it in.
That's what I'm saying. Tennessee gets in.
They could, yeah.
Let's check TCU's path. So TCU, now look at this schedule. They beat Oklahoma when they was ranked 18th. They beat Kansas when they was ranked. They beat Oklahoma State, and they beat Kansas State. And their next opponent is a ranked Texas team.
It's going to be a tough
and
game.
Then Baylor, and then Iowa State. So
and then the conference championship.
Yeah. So if TCU wins out, which they don't have nobody in their path that could, possibly ruin them like a
Texas
Michigan
can.
and Ohio State.
I mean, Texas could beat them.
Let's just
if
say
Texas is
out.
healthy, I think Texas could beat them.
Y'all forgot Baylor can give them an upset too.
Yeah, but let's just say they win out.
If they win out, they'll
be in. So it'll be. Let's just say Georgia does beat LSU. Georgia will be there.
Yeah.
Ohio State beat Michigan. Ohio State's in. TCU wins out, they'll be in.
So it'd probably be Tennessee or Oregon, depending on if Oregon. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be the Pac-12 championship versus Tennessee.
Well, I believe Oregon loses to USC, so that moves Tennessee in.
Yeah, but USC's a one-loss team, so then they would be the conference champ. I don't know. That's tough. I think.
I would actually, if Oregon wins out and win the Pac-12, I would put them in over Tennessee.
It's gonna be tough. I don't know. Tennessee's
I would put them in over Tennessee because they do have a conference championship.
Yeah, but we see that doesn't matter too much.
And if Clemson wins out and win the ACC championship, I would put them over Tennessee too.
Oh no way! There's no way. Tennessee beat Georgia or beat Alabama. There's no way I'd take. And their only losses to Georgia. You'd put that Clemson team better. You think is better than Tennessee?
I would put them in there.
Oh,
they win out their games and they won the conference championship. I would put them in there with a one loss.
Didn't that Alabama team get it though? That 1 year when they had that one loss.
Oh, that was Alabama.
I think they won it.
Tennessee lost against
Georgia.
Georgia basically is what's going to keep them out.
I don't know.
Let's see.
So did Oregon. Though Oregon lost to Georgia too, though.
Yeah, but
they got beat down by Georgia.
But they're in different conference where they can actually win a conference championship.
Yeah, but we've seen that conference don't matter though.
Unfortunately for Tennessee, man, this is going to be a tough one. You know what? We definitely got to have this conversation in about 2 weeks because then it'll be a lot more clear.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen between now and then.
Look at the rest of Tennessee's schedule. They're going to win out too. So it's going to be a huge controversy.
Everybody's going to win out. Everybody's going to lose.
And this is why I say that 12-team playoffs is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, but
let's start to catch up. It'll make a huge difference at first until all the same conversations come up again, and then we need a 16-game playoff, and it just it never stops. It's always going to end up being the same conversation.
I think 12 teams is pretty base though, but I mean Tennessee has some great wins though. Look at those wins they beat.
It's a lot of games though, man. You got to understand it's a lot of games.
All right, so basically, based on everybody's schedule that we looked at, everybody could win out. Now,
Oregon has a tough.
Sitting on the outside, we got Ole Miss here.
Nah, I don't even bring them.
No, they're not. They're too far away.
They lost one game now.
They would have to make it to the SEC championship and win.
They lost to LSU.
They got beat down by LSU.
The next game is Alabama. So if they beat Alabama, they're going to get a boost.
Not really, because Alabama's a two-loss team right now.
Alabama is number 9 in the country, regardless.
All right,
but
be Alabama.
And if you look If you look at the team, if you look at Alabama as a team as a whole, they are still on roster one of the best teams in the country.
All right, but Ole Miss right now is ranked 11. Bama's ranked 9. If they're not going to jump up to like 6, they're going to if they move at all, they'll go up to either 10 or 9, and that's it.
I'll take Tennessee over Ole Miss. Ole Miss is not that good.
So Ole Miss, let's say they knock off Alabama. They're just like Tennessee now. They got one loss.
No. They're not like Tennessee.
They'll definitely beat Arkansas and Mississippi State. This shit's gonna be sweet. This controversy gonna be sweet this year. Man, UCLA knocking on the door. They're 8-1.
No, they're not. They're the 12. They're nowhere near the door.
We saw their schedule. They literally played no one.
They're still in the car sitting in the driveway.
And exactly for this reason, all these teams that's sitting where they're sitting is why their playoff going to 12 will make a difference.
I don't think it's gonna make a difference because these teams they're not that good. UCLA is not that good of a team.
So let's just say UCLA knocks off Arizona, knocks
or
off
USC.
UCLA,
and they'll go to
USC.
They'll go to the conference championship.
Oh my God!
I mean, UCLA could make it, but they would have to win out, then beat Oregon in the conference championship, and then have a couple teams lose. Like you definitely need TCU to lose, you need Michigan to lose, and you need like LSU or Tennessee to lose probably, and then they can be in it.
This is going to be a beautiful scenario. This is going to be a beautiful scenario for this college football playoffs coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Well, I think Clemson's going to lose a game still.
Clemson still hanging around. Ole Miss and UCLA, they're crossing their fingers. USC crossing their fingers. LSU win the SEC championship. Tennessee is hoping for miracles. Oregon, they're crossing their fingers too. And we see Ohio State and Michigan still undefeated at 9-0, but one of them got to go down to each other. So it's going to be a interesting couple weeks.
We'll see.
Interesting couple weeks. Now, all of these teams that's basically in the top 12, I'm gonna pick them to win their games. Except for I'm not gonna pick the Alabama Ole Miss game. I'm gonna see how that one plays out. But if Ole Miss were to beat Alabama, this shit's gonna get interesting.
I think you got to look everybody that's within the top 7 or 8. Say the top 7 from LSU up. That's where all the action's going to be as far as who's going in. Everybody else, they're too far outside.
Yeah, unless UCLA or USC win out and go to the conference championship, and then you have like TCU lose and like Tennessee or Michigan lose. There could be a shot.
Chris, you don't want to pick no fight with Henry Lee. Henry Lee been here since day one. Henry Lee is an honorable member of the channel. Trust me, he's been here through all the trolling. He's been here when we was beating their teeth in, and now he here when they winning. So I don't think you want to pick no fight with Henry Lee. Oh man, so this is gonna be interesting. What about North Carolina?
What about him?
Nah, come on.
What about North Carolina? They 8-1.
Too far away.
Let's check out North Carolina.
Dude, stop.
Too far away.
Miami almost beat them. Like, come on.
Man. North Carolina. Let's see.
Look at that schedule. Oh my God. Look at that schedule.
The only losses to Notre Dame. They got Wake, Georgia Tech coming up, and NC State. They can win all of those and win the ACC championship.
Yeah, they still won't make it. They still won't make it. There's no way.
Man.
The thing is, in the ACC, if you're not undefeated, you're not going to get a playoff bid. There's just no way.
Correct.
There's no way.
The problem with the ACC, if you look at conference-wise, everybody beat up on each other.
Oh, I know. But you have to be undefeated in this conference.
Like, if you look at all, the next best team is 3-2. And then you got Georgia. You got North Carolina 5-0, and the next is 3-2. So
yeah, but that doesn't matter. I mean, you have to be undefeated in the ACC to go to the playoffs.
The
Just like
ACC
same thing with Big
scheduling
Ten.
changes next year, if I'm correct, right? Whether
Yeah, it
they're going to
does.
scrap the divisions and then it's
It's gonna
just
be
going to
trash.
be.
Yeah, it'll go straight. 1 and 2 play each other.
It's kind of dumb how they did it, honestly.
So I mean, if you look at it from 1 and 2, it's still the same. It still would be Clemson versus North Carolina.
Yeah, but it's just gonna be different how you play teams. Like we're not gonna be playing Virginia Tech every year. We're not gonna be playing Virginia every year. Like
Good.
we're gonna be playing Pittsburgh, Louisville, and Florida State. Like that's guaranteed